If you think the way you love is entirely your choice, think again. Most people believe they're making conscious decisions in love, in who they want, who they stay with, who they chase. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. You're not choosing love, you're replaying it. You're not falling for a person, you're falling for a pattern. And until you understand what's really driving your desire, what's been silently scripting your story, you'll keep chasing the same high, hitting the same wall, breaking in the same places. This isn't random. This is psychology, and what we're about to uncover could change the way you understand your past, your heartbreaks, your cravings, and finally, your future. Because the truth is, love isn't always love. Sometimes it's unhealed need. Sometimes it's unprocessed pain. Sometimes it's your childhood playing out in adult clothing. But once you see it, once you really see it, you can never unsee it again. So stay with me. Because we're about to decode the real reason you want who you want. And it has nothing to do with chemistry. It has everything to do with programming. Let's start with the part you never see coming. You're not attracted to a person. You're attracted to a wound. You're drawn to someone not because of who they are, but because of what they trigger. That familiar emotional vibration you can't quite explain, that tension, that hunger, that electricity. You call it love, but your nervous system calls it home. That pull you feel, it's not fate, it's recognition. Something in them mirrors something in you. Something old, something deep, something unresolved. You're not chasing connection, you're chasing repair. You're trying to rewrite the story you never finished. If you had to earn love when you were young, you'll be drawn to people who make you earn it. If you were ignored, you'll chase the ones who give just enough attention to keep you hooked, but never enough to make you whole. If love came with conditions, you'll feel the most alive around those who make you prove your worth. Not because it's right, because it's familiar. That's what your unconscious is doing. It's not asking, is this person good for me? It's asking, does this feel like what I know? This is why you keep ending up in the same kind of relationships. Different faces, same dynamic, new names, same ache. And maybe you've told yourself stories to justify it. Love is supposed to be hard. I just have a type. The spark just wasn't there. But maybe the truth is this. Your body has been trained to equate love with anxiety. So when it feels calm, when it feels stable, when it feels real, you don't trust it. You walk away, you say, I don't feel the spark. But it's not the spark that's missing, it's the pain, and without the pain, it doesn't feel like love. Now that's a terrifying realization, because it means the part of you that's choosing isn't the part that's healed. It's the part that's still bleeding. So what do you do with this? You face it. You stop blaming others for the patterns you keep repeating. You stop chasing people who feel like emotional home, even when that home was filled with absence, criticism, or conditional love. You stop searching for someone to save you and start asking, what part of me needs to be healed so I stop needing saving? Because that's the real work. Not learning how to impress, not mastering dating strategies, but untangling the knot inside you that confuses pain with passion, that confuses attention with affection, that confuses chaos with chemistry. When you've lived your life being pulled by the same script, you don't even know there's another one, but there is, and it doesn't start by changing who you're with. It starts by changing what you're available for. Let me be clear, this isn't about blaming your past, it's about understanding it, because if you don't understand it, you'll repeat it, and if you keep repeating it, you'll call it fate, and it's not fate. It's programming. When you were young, your mind created a blueprint. This is what love looks like. This is how I must act to receive it. This is what I must do to feel wanted. And unless you question that blueprint, unless you tear it apart and rebuild it from the truth instead of trauma, you'll keep attracting exactly what matches it, and sometimes what matches it breaks you. So here's what most people never do. They never slow down long enough to ask, is what I want actually good for me? They never sit in the discomfort of calm long enough to learn that peace is not boring, it's healing. They never stay with someone who doesn't trigger their survival instincts, because they mistake regulation for lack of excitement. But there's a version of love that doesn't drain you, that doesn't make you beg, that doesn't leave you second, guessing your worth. There's a version of love where you don't have to earn anything, where your presence is enough, where the connection is steady, not because there's no passion, but because there's no fear. And the moment you experience it, everything changes, not because the other person is magic, but because you finally stopped choosing from your wounds. You started choosing from your worth. So if you're listening to this, and you felt that heartbreak, the one that feels like it cracked something deeper than your chest, just know this. It wasn't about them. It was about what they woke up in you. And it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Your responsibility to heal, to look at the patterns, to sit with the pain until it teaches you what it came to teach. To stop running from yourself long enough to finally see yourself. Because no one can love you deeper than you've dared to meet yourself. No relationship can save you from the work you haven't done. No chemistry can replace the self-respect you've been starving for. You don't need another person to complete you. You need to remember you were never broken in the first place. You just got hurt. You just got used to the hurt. You just forgot what real love is supposed to feel like. So this is your reminder. Love isn't supposed to hurt more than it heals. It isn't supposed to feel like a battle. It isn't supposed to make you smaller, quieter, or more anxious. Real love feels like safety, like clarity, like peace, and peace doesn't always feel exciting at first, especially when you're used to chaos. But peace is where you rebuild. Peace is where you find yourself again. Peace is where you remember that love isn't meant to be earned. It's meant to be received. And when you stop confusing emotional highs for connection, when you stop letting your wounds choose your partners, when you stop running toward the fire because it's the only warmth you've known, you begin to create a new kind of story. Not one based on repetition, but on choice, not on patterns, but on presence. So let me ask you, are you ready to stop calling your pain chemistry? Are you ready to stop mistaking anxiety for love? Are you ready to choose something better, not louder, not flashier, just better? Then you need to go inward, not outward, not into another relationship, another fling, another chase, but into yourself, into the parts of you still holding on to a story that no longer serves you. Because until you heal that story, you will keep choosing people who make you relive it. But once you rewrite it, you'll start choosing people who help you grow instead of bleed. And that is the beginning of real power, not the kind that controls others, the kind that no longer needs to be controlled by the past. You are not broken, you're becoming, you're awakening, and from this moment on you don't chase love, you embody it.